Dear students, I am going to explain you about the ceasefire between the two countries which carries on fighting with each other for about 1.5 months. Ceasefire is between Azerbaijan and Armenia. We will also discuss in detail the problem of the Azerbaijan and Armenia, why they are fighting, what for they are fighting, and what will be its outcome. Armenia and Azerbaijan agreed for ceasefire over the Nagorno-Karabakh after 1.5 months. There is too much of loss. Hundreds of people died, thousands of people were displaced. Areas which were conquered by Azerbaijan will remain with the remain with the Azerbaijan, and the new LOC line of control will be drawn. Some of the provisions of the ceasefire. One, all the areas which Azerbaijan captured will remain with Azerbaijan. The famous town Susa is also included in it. Number two, Armenia will vacate those areas which are under them during the war. Three, all prisoners of war will be released and exchanged. Four, all displaced will be again rehabilitated. Fifth, 1,960 Russian soldiers will be sent as a peacekeepers for both the sides. Vladimir Putin announced this ceasefire. And it is Vladimir Putin who played a vital role in bringing the end to the war and announcing the ceasefire. Now, Armenia was saying in the beginning that they won't give even an inch of land, but now Azerbaijan have got so much of land from them. Is it a loss to the Armenia? According to some scholars, yes, it is a victory for the Azerbaijan and loss to the Armenia. On the one side, it was Russia, and the other side, it was Turkey. According to scholars, the proper solution to this could have been if there would have the announcement of the demilitarization, and that was the best solution in the Nagorno-Karabakh area. Pipeline controversy is there. North-South dialogue gas pipeline is also there, which passes through this area. It is not the permanent solution, it is just the temporary solution, because international scenario is involved in it. Armenian Prime Minister said, it is not a good and it is not our victory. People in Armenia are protesting over the issue of vacating of land. Is Armenian people are feeling it a defeat? According to the people, the war is not yet end. When war began, Turkey was considered as a villain. But now, when peace agreement is signed, Turkey is not included in it. Russia have come into the forefront, and Putin brought the ceasefire. It's a win-win victory, win-win position of Mr. Putin and Russia. Now, why? What's the problem? Why they were fighting? I'll slightly go in the background of the problem of the clash between the Armenia and the Azerbaijan. For that, we have to go a century back. Armenia is a Christian dominated country, and Azerbaijan is a Muslim dominated country. Before the First World War, entire area was one country, and it used to be called as Trans-Caucasian Federation. In 1918, when the First World War came to an end, and it was divided into three countries: Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. On the one hand, the First World War was coming to an end, and on the other hand, Bolshevik Revolution in Russia was coming up. It was in 1920s, after the death of V.I. Lenin, Joseph Stalin have came in power. He included Armenia and Azerbaijan in USSR. Both the countries had a new borderline, or the LOC. The problem starts from here. In between both the countries, there is a one hilly area which is called Nagorno-Karabakh. It is 4,400 square kilometer area, hilly area. Traditionally, Christian people lives here who are of the Armenian origin, and some population constitutes of Turkish origin. Here, Stalin played a politics, and he included some areas of Armenia dominated population with Azerbaijan area. Why did he do so? The scholars are saying it is because of two reasons. One, while giving Turkish dominated areas to Azerbaijan, he will be pleasing the Turkey. And secondly, let these two states, small states, kept on fighting so that they couldn't give any trouble or challenge to the USSR. This might be the either of the two reasons, might be in the mind of Mr. Joseph Stalin at that time. I think it is the same situation when the Britishers played a politics while giving independence to India. In the 1947, when they partitioned the India, there were about 563 or 64 princely states. They said they can join either of the two, India or Pakistan, or they can remain independent. And here they played a politics. It is just the same situation. They want to go for the Balkanization in India. Immediately, trouble arose, and it became a disputed territory. Nagorno-Karabakh became the part of Azerbaijan, as 94% of the population was Armenian or Christian. Conflict continued, but war didn't took place because both were the parts of USSR. As USSR started getting weak, the conflict of Azerbaijan and Armenia started getting more and more serious. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev, the head of USSR, introduced the two policies, Glasnost and Perestroika. And with these two policies, it was quite clear that USSR will decline now. In 1988, the Assembly of Nagorno-Karabakh passed one resolution, that is, they want to merge with Armenia. It shocked Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan thought Armenia is spreading the separatism in Nagorno-Karabakh. Christian people of this area don't want to live under the Muslim domination. In 1991, as soon as USSR declined, this declared themselves as independent. World did not accept it as an independent nation. And in 1992, war began. It continued for 2 years. And in these 2 years, 30,000 people died in this war. Lakhs of people were displaced. Then Russia finally intervened, and it led to the ceasefire. Nagorno-Karabakh became independent, and it declares its independence, but none of the country of the world recognized it. Actually, the interference of Armenia remained there. In 1994, peace prevailed. Azerbaijan was having a desire to include it in its territory because long time back it used to be a part of the Azerbaijan. Cross-border firing continued from time to time between the forces of Azerbaijan and Armenia. In 2016, again conflict began and 110 people died. In July 2019, again the conflict began and 16 people were killed. It is almost the same position of India's Kashmir, POK Kashmir, and Indian occupied Kashmir. And since September 27, 2020, this war continued for 1.5 months, where a lot many people were killed. Again, the ceasefire is there like the earlier one. Now, for how long the ceasefire will continue cannot be determined. Many scholars compare this situation very closely to the Pakistan occupied Kashmir and India's Kashmir. Thank you very much.